Hey guys, this is Rukadowski of WeAreChange.org in a neighborhood in Brooklyn that you most likely will not see on any postcards. This is actually a neighborhood that I grew up in, not so far away in, of course, Borough Park. But specifically, in today's walk and talk, I kind of wanted to show you the city that a lot of people are talking about after Donald Trump's latest tweet, pretty much describing this place as a crap hole that is going under. Now, personally, growing up and being raised here in New York City, I love this city. This is a city that gave me my attitude, my temperament, made me who I am. But there have been a lot of changes happening here that are very, very dramatic. Now, New York City was always a city of immigrants, but New York City has recently started to incentivize illegal immigrants. Specifically, not only giving driver licenses to illegals, but free medical insurance, and also now housing, which has had a very detrimental effect on the poorest people living in this particular city, mainly because there's not enough housing for all the people here, and the housing is given out in a lottery. Now that illegal immigrants are allowed to apply for housing here in New York City, this has created a big demand. This has created a whole talk about gentrification, and the city's poorest had to, of course, move away to other cities and states in the surrounding neighborhood. This, of course, has also created a huge financial burden on this city, which, of course, the city is trying to figure out how to pay for by squeezing the life out of your average New Yorker. This is why we're seeing a lot of people, not just Donald Trump, move out of this city. The middle class is pretty much non-existent here, and the poor are pretty much becoming poorer as they're getting screwed over by these insane directives, these insane laws that are being passed here that don't prioritize the people, but prioritize a perverted, backwards, insane ideology that doesn't serve anyone except for those who are in charge. There's laws here. There's laws here on the books that if you're a landlord or a business, you can't call someone an illegal. You can't threaten to call ICE on someone. You can't misgender someone. And there's a new law specifically saying that you may not discriminate against someone's haircut. Yeah, the city legislature came together, argued and passed a law saying that it's illegal to discriminate because of someone's haircut. And there's a lot of things that are illegal here. CBD foods, illegal. Foie gras, illegal. Flavored vapes, illegal. Go smoke the heavily taxed and regulated cigarettes here that the city is making a killing off of. This is also another priority that we need to understand here when it came to this whole crazy, ultimately a psyop against flavored vapes that, again, had nothing to do with public safety, had everything to do with taxation, regulation, the state making money with, of course, a big special interest, which they rely on for a lot of money. Here in New York City, a pack of cigarettes like $15 to $20. $15 to $20, one of the most heavily taxed cigarettes in all of the United States. And that's just not just one tax. There's taxes on virtually everything. There's regulations on virtually everything. If you live in New York City, you not only pay federal, you not only pay state, you also pay city taxes. 3 different taxes that you have to pay for the privilege to live here as a frickin' slave. When Donald Trump announced temporary tax reduction on all of America, guess what New York City did? And the New York State, guess what they did? They raised taxes so no one in this state, no one in this city would see a difference in their taxes. So when Donald Trump, for the limited time that he did, lowered taxes, the city raised taxes, so they would end up paying the same amount, but only to a different criminal organization. And again, it's not just taxes and regulations, it's laws that are just stupid, that absolutely make no sense. One of the biggest arrests that happened, and by the way, arrests and violence are predominantly down in New York City because of many different factors, but arrests and ticketing, well, those are incentivized at police precincts that have quotas that need to write a certain amount of tickets per month, that need to have a certain amount of arrests each month, regardless if a crime actually occurred. But with the amount of laws here, cops have it easy when it comes to fining, taxing, and going after someone who's trying to make a living, including independent people who just want to sell anything that a person needs. Again, business owners have it completely screwed here with the regulations. Airbnb completely regulated to the point where if you even own some property here, you can't rent it out. You have to be incentivized to get a hotel, which of course the hotel industry and the lodging industry gives a lot of contributions to the government here. You go to a hotel here, it's taxes upon taxes upon taxes that you have to pay just to stay in a particular hotel. But according to an officer that I talked to, the leading cause of arrest in New York City is people with pocket knives. Again, I haven't verified this. I can't fact check this, but I had a police officer tell me, yeah, the number one busts that we're making in the city is people, specifically tourists in Times Square, who have a pocket knife, because any form of self-defense is completely illegal here in this specific city. And again, the list of illegal things just keep going on and on and on. And the city's transportation system is a perfect example of the lunacy, the idiocy, the insanity that's happening in the city. I'm specifically talking about the MTA, which many people point to being a very corrupt institution. There's a lot of service changes. There's a lot of inadequate, to many New Yorkers, changes that happen to the public transportation system here. And many people point to multi-million-dollar consulting agencies. A lot of people point to big bureaucracies. A lot of people just point to clear outright corruption when it comes to the New York City transportation system, the MTA. Now, with that happening, what are your alternatives? It's a big city. Well, you could get an electric scooter, you could get an electric bike. Now, you drive an electric scooter or an electric bike, police officers will stop you, fine you, and charge you a heavy fine. You would have to go to court specifically. I'm going to let these nice ladies go in front of me. They will charge you for having the audacity to use an electric means of transportation, which is illegal here. You're going to try to get an Uber, heavily regulated, heavily controlled, heavily taxed, to now where Ubers are just as, if not more expensive than yellow taxis. Many Uber drivers are forced to work overtime, sleep in their cars, creating dangerous situations. You have a car, you're trying to drive here. Good luck, not only with the traffic, but all the stupid laws and regulations with cops, parking agents, waiting on every corner to ticket you. I got ticketed for having a window tint just being 0.1% darker than the official state protocol here. I had to go to court. I had to spend hundreds of dollars after just getting my car inspected here in New York City, which surprisingly doesn't check for car tints, which I got in trouble for. Because my car tint, which the officer could clearly see through, it was almost exactly like this car, said, no, your car tint's darker. And I had to go to court, spend and waste an entire day, and hundreds of dollars. I think it was like $300 or $400 I had to pay for having my car tint too dark after all the inspections that I had to go through with the state. Speed cameras are set up here with, of course, a new motto that speed cameras somehow save lives, even though there's been many studies proving speed cameras create more traffic accidents. And there has been more news about a lot of traffic accidents happening in New York City. What's the city's response? Setting up more speed cameras to bust people to gain a revenue for their corrupt, illegal institution. What is that guy doing? And because of all the accidents that have been happening because of these speed cameras, and increasingly these speed cameras, what's the city's response? Where now they're proposing a bicycle license. I'm not kidding you. They already passed the law that you can't discriminate against hairstyles. They're proposing a law that would require you to get a license to operate a bicycle. Which, by the way, there's a person in front of me doing. If a cop sees that, he's getting a ticket for riding a bike on the sidewalk. You're supposed to ride your bike on the street where cars are trying to evade all the frickin' speed cameras that are set up everywhere and make you drive 25 miles an hour, which is just absolutely ridiculous. Try to get around the city in an Uber, oh, you're paying an arm and a leg. Try to go along with the taxi cartel, oh, you're almost paying the same amount. But you're stuck in this repeated cycle that keeps fostering pain and suffering and hurt amongst everyone else. And what happens if you have children here? They're stuck in an indoctrination system that is utterly corrupt. I went to school here. I didn't learn crap. I've seen a lot of violence. I've seen stabbings, I've seen shootings. There's a kid in my school that literally shot himself. I remember being there. They're like, what? What was that big bang noise? Blood and all. Anyway, and it's only getting worse from here, especially in the school system, where out of all the problems that the city's dealing with, out of every angle that they're sucking the blood and life and liberty and prosperity out of us, the way they fix that is by spending $23 million on a, quote, bias training in public schools, where they're telling the teachers that they have to focus and utilize their resources on either established or middle-class blacks over poor whites. Why? Shouldn't you give school limited resources to poor people based on their gender? Well, because of slavery. And this is all endorsed and pushed by the school commissioner here in this in this city. There's a gifted program, a talented program, just like many other schools, where kids who do really well in school are put in these specific programs. What's the city's proposal? What's the city's proposal to do with them? Well, they're saying that there's too many Asians and there's too many whites in these programs, and therefore we have to get rid of all of them. They're proposing that right now, along with bike licenses, as well as any other cancerous ideology to try to suck up anything good and holy in this life. I want to keep moving here. And this is why Donald Trump is right. I disagree with him on the police angle, and I will be making probably a separate video just on the police aspect on this YouTube channel. But when it comes to him fleeing, just like millions of other people are fleeing this city, I totally understand them. And I will be one of the people that will not live here. By the way, I'm just visiting my family here. I'm a perpetual traveler. I'm always on the road. So trust me, the only reason I'm here is because of family, and to also check in on the lunacy that's happening here. There's a specific reason we do a lot of traveling on this YouTube channel, and one of them is just how insane, cancerous, expensive, and ridiculous it is to live here. And many times when I'm on the road, I save a lot more money in living costs being on the road than I do living in this city that once was a great, amazing metropolis of many different, unique individuals. And now it literally has turned into a hipster, yuppie hellhole, almost a child safe-proof bullcrap gift shop inside of a shopping mall run by lunatics. That's my particular take on it. What do you think? Do you live in New York City? Do you have particular experiences living in this city? Well, let me know. I would love to hear your comments and feedback about what you thought I had to share. And sincerely, all the people who make this independent media broadcast possible, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for going to wearechange.org/donate and keeping this independent media organization alive. Now, another thing I wanted to say is that this is only the beginning. And sadly, things will only get worse here. That's my assessment. If you think I'm wrong, let me know why in the comment section below. Stay tuned for more here on wearechange.org. Love ya.